Do y'all remember the Carol Power video from, at this point, a long while ago? Well, the main reason I did that video was because it's something completely different. This, it sort of kind of looks something completely similar, just generic clean racing. But this is actually so completely similar, I kind of forgot about it, because really, in hindsight, now that I remember it, it's kind of sort of something completely different. This was a race from the American Legion of Vroom series. I can't say I remembered this one, but once I looked at it, I did. And this was a series that sort of kind of ran like XFEL. It was relatively short, but kind of sort of endurance style races. They're not really long enough to where it's strenuous or anything, but they're not really short enough where it's like mediate or nothing either. Passes can be done and people can be competitive and such. But yeah, that's just something completely different, I guess. Because why not? Oh, wait, I know why not. My PlayStation 4 is still broke. That's why not. But, well, there you have it, folks. American Legion of Vroom. This is actually pretty competitive racing, ain't it? I think this race was something relatively low-ish horsepower, 1,200 kilogram production cars, or... Was that even production? Was that even production? That was. I'm not even gonna try. It's pretty much, if it doesn't have livery on it, it's production. That's like the XFEO rule that apparently worked for this too, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, first ain't as competitive, but second on max pretty cotton picking competitive, so let's look at that. I guess it'll specialitate it like a normal race there. The Series 1 there is getting a whole heck of a heap of run on the S2000 on the straightaway, and it should get even more of a run here, because in theory, that S2000 being a Honda probably doesn't have all that good a low-end Excella. I was way off. Jiminy Cricket, that Honda's OP on the straights. Holy snikes, like seriously, that's... Wow, that's... wow. I guess the Series 1 handles better, but the Honda's faster on the straights. Who would have guessed that, folks? Who would have guessed that? Something completely different. But, well, even though it is something completely different, it's still same old good racing. XFEL rings a bell there. Really, about the only difference between this and XFEL was ran by someone different. At times, it kind of had the same people in it and stuff like that. It didn't last as long as XFEL, but it was still sort of the same type of racing. So, well, there you have it, folks. Carol Power, that video from a long time ago, was something truly and really completely different, because that was kind of a one-off thing that somebody just decided to do. It just so happened to have some of the same people in the main group. Like R34 and ER did that as well as I did. So, now, there is no groups, because GT Sport is different. Completely different. Good or bad, I don't feel like talking about that now. But this is a pretty kind of good racing right yonder. I've said that before. Whatever. But let's just look at the positives. That's side by side right yonder. That S2000 is right on the outside of that BMW. And that BMW is going to have to draft on Series 1. And we already know how fast that... Oh, wait, that BMW's gone and a half right yonder. Well, that ended about as quickly as it happened there, but that Honda's OP on the... At that one point, that Honda was like the fastest thing in existence, but now it's like slower. What in the blue blazes is going on? This is something completely different right yonder. I really don't know, folks. I really don't know. I mean, like I said, I wasn't lying when I said I didn't really remember this race much, because I didn't really... ALV didn't really go on long enough to make it a series, because it didn't even really last till my channel started. This race was something thereabouts in 2014, I think. Somewhere around there. So this was about 6 months-ish before my channel started. So was really no point in Specialtatin back then, because there was a whole heck of a heap of content. Now it's something completely different. Is that Honda fast this time around? Yes, just because Series 1 wasn't. As y'all can see too, with having it being some of the same people that was in XFEL, some are better than others. Actually, XFEL was better than I kind of thought it was when it was happening. Just in the fact of me, ER, Cards Fan Theory are all really high up in GT Sports style stuff. And the closed beta with Cards Fan didn't have. Me and ER got a whole heck of a heap of high qualifying times, and in the main game that I can't play much, Cards Fan Theory is dominating that too. So all of them were involved in this sort of kinda, but not as much as XFL, DRL, but I guess depending on who you are, there might be some familiar names. Racing Roman is the founder of this, and R34 is kind of he races in all the series type things. But as of now, for racing in this series, I have 2 races saved to this completely. One of them, it was kind of a fluke. This one is actually pretty coming good. I say the other one was a fluke because it's sort of a lag wreck, made a lot of chaos. This is actually good racing. May as well just specialtate the good racing instead of the chaos, because there's actually kind of sort of more chaos type racing recently than actually good racing. So, well, this is good racing. Let's see how it turns out, folks. That Series 1 is probably gonna not dive bomb. Jiminy Cricket, that Series 1 was racing nice. It didn't even dive bomb there. Ain't that a rarity, folks? I would even say a very rarity. But yeah, because of that Series 1 actually racing nice, that Honda S2000 gets second there, and that Series 1 is way out in the front. So, I hope you all enjoyed that ALV Racing, American Legion of Vroom, and well, yeah, that was something completely different, wasn't it? Something completely different. Something completely different, I guess, is indeed Andy Worth. Yeehaw!